Google's Professional Machine Learning Engineer certification isn't just another badge. It's the filter that unlocks a median total compensation of $302,000 a year, according to Levels, FYI. But only if you treat it as proof of enterprise scalability, not a checkbox you tick and forget. The global AI market is hitting $310 billion this year. Not next decade, right now. Google Cloud just rolled out Vertex AI Agent Builder and Model Garden, and they need engineers who can actually deploy models, not just tinker and collab. Companies are hiring for production, not experimentation. The 2026 PMLE exam is heavy on Vertex AI Agent Builder, Model Garden, Gen AI evaluation, and responsible AI. It costs $200, and you'll need 6 to 10 weeks of focused prep. Right now, go grab the official guide from Google Cloud Skills Boost. That's your blueprint for every topic on the test. AWS MLE C01 is $150 and solid for SageMaker roles. Databricks Associate is priced competitively as well. But the Google Professional ML Engineer is widely seen as the gold standard for production GCP machine learning. Flash Genius calls its ROI exceptional. If you're targeting the high-salary Google Cloud ecosystem, this is the cert you build toward. But here's the part. Everyone gets wrong about those eye-popping Google salary numbers. They're not for just passing an exam. The jump from $199K at L3 to $294K at L4 and beyond comes from architectural depth. At L3, you're implementing. At L4, you're designing. At L5, you're driving MLOps strategy. The cert opens the door. Your ability to scale is what doubles your pay. Hiring managers aren't chasing algorithm wizards. They need the glue. The data scientist experiments. The MLOps person scales infrastructure, but the ML engineer designs the pipeline and monitors the model in production. That's the premium skill set that Flash Genius flags as the reason MLEs command a salary bump. You're the bridge between experimentation and reality. Anyone can call an API. The real money is in architecting the pipeline, Vertex AI custom training, feature store, and model monitoring. That's the gap between an $110K entry-level prompt tweaker and the $200K plus ML engineer. Google's exam tests the architect, not the prompter. And this is the depth that separates a GymCert all-star from a production-ready engineer. You can't skip these. Kaggle offers free micro courses in Python and SQL. Use them. The biggest mistake people make is glossing over linear algebra and stats. When your model drifts in production, you'll need to explain why. And the accuracy just dropped won't cut it in an interview or on the job. Before you touch a neural network, master the core ML toolkit. Scikit-learn for modeling, XGBoost and LightGBM for structured data wins, Pandas for transformation. Here's your concrete step. Enter a Kaggle Playground competition this week. Submit a solution with feature engineering and a tree-based model. Not every problem needs deep learning. Google interviews and the PMLE exam expect you to know when a simple random forest is the right call. When you're ready for deep learning, start with the deeplearning.ai specialization on Coursera. Affordable, respected, and hands-on. For the PMLE exam, prioritize TensorFlow and Keras. They're tightly integrated with Vertex AI. If you spend all your time on PyTorch, you'll be fighting the GCP exam's expectations. Deep learning matters, but choose your weapon strategically for the cert and for the Google Cloud stack. In a real GCP enterprise, the data journey isn't just about training. You ingest raw event data with BigQuery, pre-process at scale using Dataflow's Apache Beam jobs, feed clean features into Vertex AI training, whether custom containers or AutoML, and deploy a production-ready REST endpoint on Vertex AI endpoints. Owning this full pipeline, not just the training step, is what separates a junior model tuner from a senior machine learning engineer. The PMLE exam will test exactly when to use BigQuery ML for SQL-based modeling versus when to export to Vertex AI for advanced training. You must make that call based on latency, cost, and scale. Vertex AI Pipelines, built on Kubeflow, gives you a repeatable, automated MLOps workflow. Every box here is a containerized component. Data validation with TFDV, pre-processing in data flow. Hyperparameter tuning powered by Vertex AI Vizier's Bayesian optimization, a training step on GPU clusters, model evaluation against a customizable threshold, and finally gated deployment to a Vertex AI endpoint. Passing the PMLE means you can diagram this exact sequence and explain why you'd use Vizier for tuning over random search, not just click deploy inside AutoML. This is the engine that separates high-value ML engineers from tutorial followers. But here's the part. Almost everyone gets wrong. You can absolutely pass the Google Professional ML Engineer exam by leaning on AutoML and Vertex AI's managed services. Yet the 300K plus roles at Google, L5 and above, where total compensation pushes past 400,000, demand architects who design custom distributed training jobs, write custom training logic in TensorFlow Extended, and orchestrate MLOps pipelines that handle terabytes of data without breaking. The certification is the floor, not the ceiling. The rest of this roadmap is about the production-grade skills that unlock those elite offers. Hyperparameter tuning separates a proof of concept from a production-ready model. Grid search is exhaustive but painful. Random search is surprisingly effective for high-dimensional spaces. The real high ROI play is Vertex AI Vizier, which uses Gaussian process Bayesian optimization to intelligently explore the search space, often drastically reducing the number of trials needed compared to random search. Pair that with a learning rate schedule like cosine decay to squeeze out the last few points of AUC. Concrete step: spin up a QuickLabs lab, use Vizier to tune an XGBoost model on a structured dataset, and aim to measurably improve performance over default parameters. Hiring managers see that quantified tuning ability and know you can move the needle. Production ML is not a statistics problem. It's a software engineering problem. Google handles this by treating models like code, versioning them, running CI/CD pipelines on every change, and deploying to canary slices before full rollout. With Cloud Build and Cloud Deploy, a push to the model registry can automatically trigger a pipeline that validates the new model, deploys to 10% traffic, and monitors for anomalies. The PMLE exam expects you to understand this entire flow. Engineers who earn L5 and above at Google don't just train accurate models. They prove they can ship and guard them at scale. That's the line between data science and production ML engineer. Deployment isn't a one-liner. It's a chain of auditable, rollback-safe steps. Export your model as a TensorFlow saved model. Containerize it with a Docker file that includes a serving binary. Push to artifact registry. Create a Vertex AI endpoint. Then deploy with an explicit traffic split. 10% to the canary, 90% to stable. The console command is gcloud AI models deploy with a weighted traffic flag. Finally, monitor prediction drift. The PMLE exam will ask where model versioning lives and how to roll back a bad deploy. When you can dismantle this workflow, you're no longer a script runner. You're the engineer who owns production reliability. A classic monitoring mistake: tracking only accuracy while input distributions silently shift. Vertex AI model. Monitoring lets you set up prediction drift alerts based on KL divergence. Configure a threshold that catches serious skew without flooding on call. Log every single request and response to BigQuery so you can replay and investigate. Retrain on a schedule, not just when an alert fires, because drift accumulates. On the PMLE exam, you'll need to configure these alerts and explain why accuracy alone is far from enough. Get monitoring right, and you'll never be the engineer who finds out about a broken model from a panicked product manager. Elite compensation correlates with engineers who can deploy governed, ethical AI systems, not just accurate ones. The PMLE exam explicitly covers responsible AI. You need to know fairness metrics, how to use Vertex explainable AI to surface feature attributions, and what a model card must document. At Google, L5 Plus engineers champion these practices. An unfair model can crash a product and a career, even if its AUC is stellar. Use Google's publicly available responsible AI practices as your playbook. Audit your projects for bias before a stakeholder does it for you. That shield isn't optional for 300K roles. No amount of theory beats a deployed project. This 10-step knockout gives you a complete, portfolio-worthy system you can build in a month. Start a minimal version this weekend. Use a public BigQuery churn dataset, iterate in Colab, then move to production. Containerize, deploy on Vertex AI, set drift alerts, and turn on explainability. The README must spell out why you chose XGBoost, how you handled data drift, and what fairness checks you ran. This project is what you talk about in interviews, not the certification. When a hiring manager sees a live endpoint with monitoring dashboards, they know you can deliver value from day one. Hiring managers will clone your GitHub repository before they check your certification. The stamp of approval rests on a well-structured repo that proves you can ship. Code that trains, deploys, and monitors a model, a screenshot of your Vertex AI monitoring dashboard, and a README that defends your architecture, explains your tuning strategy, and documents ethical considerations. 2 or 3 such end-to-end projects open more doors than any credential. The Google Professional ML Engineer, Cert validates knowledge, but deployed projects validate you can own production ML. Make your portfolio scream, I can deliver, monitor, and govern ML at scale. Your portfolio opened the door. Now comes the interview. And here's where most candidates stumble. They can't walk the interviewer through the system design decisions behind that deployed churn model. The Google PMLE interview probes your depth, not just your recall. Expect to field questions about production scale, ML architecture, debugging training disasters, and baking in responsible AI. Bookmark Machine Learning System Design Interview by Alex Xu and study every GCP native pattern. This checklist captures the real-world topics that reveal whether you can engineer ML at scale. When the offer lands, the narrative you bring into the room is what moves the number. Don't lead with, I passed the exam. Lead with, my fraud detection pipeline reduced false positives by 22% and cut compute waste by $4,300 a month. With the median total compensation for Google ML engineers sitting at $302K, you anchor at that level, then tie every dollar to a specific deployed capability. Lower inference latency, tighter CI/CD for models, auditable governance for SOC2. That's what justifies the jump. Practice the phrase, my pipeline saved X in compute costs per month. It's not about knowing ML. It's about owning the P&L of an intelligent system. Now let's zoom out to the 12-month roadmap that makes this career possible. Becoming a PMLE in 2026 isn't a linear sprint. It's a continuous cycle of building, deploying, and updating skills. Start with Python and math foundations, move through scikit-learn and deep learning, lock in MLOps with Vertex AI, ship 2 capstone projects, layer in Gen AI with Agent Builder, and then loop back to refresh your fundamentals. Every phase feeds the next, and the cycle never ends, because in ML, today's cutting edge is tomorrow's legacy. Week 1 is about momentum, not mastery. Install the latest stable Python, Anaconda, and VS Code. Open the free Kaggle Python and Intro to Machine Learning microcourses. They're self-contained, and will have you writing code within an hour. Simultaneously, create a GCP free trial, claim your $300 credit, and get the AI Platform API turned on. Your first tactical move. In Cloud Shell, type gcloud AI Platform Models List and see a clean empty response. That's your proof that the pipeline is open. No analysis paralysis, just an early win that makes the next 44 weeks feel achievable. Now you're ready to handle real data. Work through chapters 2 to 7 of Hands-on Machine Learning with scikit-learn, Keras, and TensorFlow. That's your textbook for this phase. Your mission: enter a Kaggle competition, the tabular playgrounds are perfect, and aim for the top 50% on the leaderboard. That means writing a notebook with feature engineering, cross-validation, and a tuned random forest. By Sunday of week 8, you'll have a public Kaggle notebook and your first bronze medal. This is the tangible proof that you can apply ML, not just watch it. Move from notebooks to manage deep learning in weeks 9 to 16. Spin up a Vertex AI workbench instance. No driver installs, no GPU driver wrestling. Build an image classifier using TF data pipelines and deploy it to a Vertex AI endpoint. Monitor training runs with TensorBoard cloud logs. This is where you stop using your local machine. The biggest mistake at this stage is training on a laptop when the cloud gives you A100 GPUs on demand. By the end of week 16, you'll have a live model serving predictions, and you'll have internalized the GCP ML stack. Weeks 17 to 24 are where exam prep and real-world MLOps converge. Enroll in the MLOps Fundamentals Quick Labs Quest and build a Kubeflow pipeline that ingests data, trains, and registers a model in Vertex AI Model Registry. Study the official Google Cloud Certified Professional Machine Learning Engineer Study Guide in parallel. Schedule your PMLE exam for the last Friday of week 24. The deadline forces discipline. When you sit for the test, you won't just be memorizing recall questions. You'll have actually orchestrated production pipelines. That's the sync that makes passing feel like a routine certification, not a gamble. The 2026 PMLE update brought generative AI out of the nice-to-know section and into the exam blueprint. The new domain covers Vertex AI Agent Builder, Model Garden for foundation models, and ground truth evaluation of RAG outputs. Build this, a retrieval-augmented generation chatbot on top of your own documentation using Agent Builder. Then use Gen AI evaluation to score groundedness and citation recall. This concrete project checks two boxes at once. It solidifies Gen AI skills for the exam and adds a modern talking point to your portfolio. In 2026, an MLE who can't blend traditional ML with Gen AI simply isn't finished. The final stretch is proof of work, not just study. Ship your churn prediction project with a live endpoint and a Terraform deployment script. Then tackle a Gen AI capstone, the RAG chatbot from Scene 27. Record a 5-minute walkthrough video where you explain why you chose Vertex AI pipelines over a manual script, or how you reduced cold start latency. Then head to pramp.com for at least 2 peer mock interviews. The pressure of a stranger asking, "Design a pipeline for 10mm real-time predictions," is closer to the real thing than any flashcard app. By week 32, your GitHub speaks louder than your resume, and your interview responses are polished into crisp narratives. Before you walk into the test center or the interview room, stamp these pitfalls in red. Candidates who only memorize AutoML workflows flounder when asked to debug a custom TensorFlow training loop. Those who ignore cost optimization, BigQuery slot reservations, training accelerator pricing, cloud logging tips, get ghosted by hiring managers who care about cloud bills. And the newest trap. The 2026 exams Gen AI and Responsible AI sections are not optional trivia. If you can't explain how to ground a Vertex AI Agent Builder response or audit a model for fairness, you'll be flagged as not production ready. Stamp these mistakes out now, because they're the exact signals that say career limited. Assemble your study arsenal. Start with Google Cloud Skills. Boost, it replaced Quick Labs, and jump into a study sprint, a timed challenge that simulates real exam pressure. Pair that with the Coursera Advanced Machine Learning on GCP specialization. Audit the course and you skip the fee. Cloud Academy adds structure, and the official sample questions PDF is non-negotiable. With free tier credits and audit paths, you can prep for under $100 total. Pick one resource today and complete a single lab. Momentum starts now. Let's dismantle the cost barrier. The Google PMLE exam costs $200, and using GCP free tier and minimal lab credits, you can cover every hands-on scenario. That's well under $300 total. Compare that to the average coding bootcamp, which runs over $10,000 for a similar time commitment. The Cert is one of the most cost-effective ways to prove high-value production ML skills. The bar chart doesn't lie. This is the ultimate career hack for your wallet. Here's the salary trajectory that makes the PMLE a no-brainer. A typical pre-cert entry-level ML role lands between $70K and $95K. Earn the Cert, and ship one real end-to-end project, and you're looking at $110K. Add MLOps skills and a second deployed project, and $150K becomes common. And if you land a Google L4 machine learning engineer offer, total compensation averages $294,000. Note, the line doesn't steepen because of the paper. It steepens when you bring MLOps and real architectural chops to the table. The leap from $150K to $300K is architecture. On the left, simple automation. One model, no monitoring, and it works until it doesn't. On the right, an enterprise ML fabric, a shared feature store, multiple models, continuous training pipelines, auto-scaling endpoints, and a tight feedback loop. High-comp ML engineers design the fabric, not just the model. They prove they can scale intelligence across a business, not just automate a single task. A PMLE certification opens doors, but a business impact stamp doubles offers. Instead of saying built a churn model, say reduced churn prediction error by 22%, saving $1.2 million annually. Instead of optimized a model, say decreased inference latency by 40% using TensorRT, cutting cloud costs by $18K a year. Hiring managers don't pay for models. They pay for measurable outcomes. Stamp your projects with real KPIs. Networking that works is low effort and high signal. Join the free Google Cloud Innovators program. It puts you directly in front of Googlers. Share your end-to-end ML project on LinkedIn with the hashtag #YIJA Google Cloud ML. Recruiters search that hashtag. Attend at least one GDG Cloud meetup this month, virtual or in person. And here's a trick. Contribute even a single documentation fix to the Vertex AI open source samples on GitHub. It gets you noticed by Google engineers. Pick one action and complete it today. Here's the unsexy truth. Burnout kills more PMLE attempts than the exam itself. Stamp this sustainable rhythm. 25 minutes of focused study using the Pomodoro technique, 1 hour of hands-on lab work, and a non-negotiable no-zero code rule. On your worst day, push a single line of code or complete one quick lab step. The brain builds deep learning skills through daily reinforcement, not weekend cram sessions. 7 days out, your prep changes. Walk through this checklist. Review the official exam guide topic by topic. Redo sample questions with a ticking clock. You must feel time pressure. Double-check that your GCP free tier projects are still running to avoid a dreaded billing alert. Most importantly, build one end-to-end pipeline from scratch in the console using gcloud config set project, so you never accidentally target the wrong project. Then, stop. A full night's sleep is worth more than any last-minute cramming. You've passed. Now launch. Update your LinkedIn headline immediately to include Google Professional ML Engineer 2026. Recruiters filter for it. List your projects right below with the business impact you stamped earlier. Set job alerts for you Google Cloud ML Engineer, so you see opportunities as they appear. And remember, the certification expires in 2 years, but the skills must never get stale. Block 1 hour each week to explore new Vertex AI features, from Agent Builder to fresh foundation models. Keep your edge sharp. This entire video proves one thing. A $300,000 plus ML role is achievable with the right strategy. Now execute. Download the free IT career roadmap from the description. It includes a 12-week PMLE study plan, project templates, and a salary negotiation script to convert your cert into a top-tier offer. No generic like and subscribe. Instead, take one action today. Share your first Kaggle submission and tag this channel. Click the link, grab the roadmap, and start building.